All right, watch how one simple change flipped my outlook. I used to be the kind of person that would roll their eyes at self improvement advice. The idea that one tiny insignificant daily tweak could actually change anything, I just felt, well, that's ridiculous. So I decided to run an experiment. I am a classically trained scientist after all. I was skeptical, but I figured what's 1 week? And honestly, you won't believe how making my bed and fixing one thing that bothered me, one small annoyance every day, transformed my mindset and productivity. Okay, the before state. A skeptic drowning in annoyances. Let's be real. Life feels overwhelming. For me, it wasn't some big dramatic problem. It was death by 1,000 cuts. The constant low grade hum of things I should be doing. Laundry, folding laundry, putting things away, brush the dog, make dinner. All of these things while building a business, getting a job, taking care of kids, planting an orchard. Like, it was just too much. You know the feeling, you're busy all day and at the end of it, you feel like you have nothing to show, or things are look or feel worse instead of better. My workspace, is a zone of organized chaos. My to-do list felt more like a fantasy novel, and my brain was just noisy. And yours probably is too. And in the middle of this, I'd see those videos telling me to just start small, or make your bed and change your life, or just clean your room. And I'd think, really? My life is a chaotic mess, and you think perfectly folded corners of my duvet is going to fix it? I have a hard enough time getting the comforter into the duvet, gosh darn it. It felt condescending, like putting a tiny band-aid on a broken leg. How could a 2-minute task possibly make a dent in the mountain of things that were actually stressing me out? But then I thought maybe this is like the meditation advice of, if you don't have 20 minutes a day to meditate, you should spend like 2 hours meditating, because your stuff is whack. Anyway, okay, so my skepticism came from this belief that real change has to be a massive overhaul. It meant waking up at like 5 a.m., doing 75 hard, running a marathon before breakfast, basically reorganizing my whole life in one weekend. That thought alone was exhausting. So I did what most of us do, nothing. I stayed stuck. I'd wake up, I'd see the unmade bed, and boom, the first reminder of the day that I was already behind. I'd walk past a squeaky closet for the 500th time, or the front closet door that where it like falls off the hinge every time. Get annoyed for a second and promptly forget about the next time it squeaked. Each of these things was a tiny, almost unnoticeable drain on my mental energy, but they were adding up. Okay, so back to science time. The experiment. Fed up with my own cycle of frustrations and inaction. Look, you might be there before, you might be there right now. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I decided to call the bluff. I made a deal with myself. 1 week, just 7 days. I'll commit to doing 2 almost laughably simple things every day. No grand plan, no massive life redesign, tiny little habits, very easy to do. Honestly, my hypothesis was that I would feel silly and prove to myself that all this is stupid. So here's all I wanted to do. 1, make my bed the moment I got out of it. No excuses. Not after my shower, not after coffee. Just get up, make my bed. 2, fix one thing that bothers me every day. Anything that has been bugging me. And usually these things don't take very long to fix, but man, they add up. So that's it. That's the whole plan. It felt so minimal, it was almost impossible not to do it. There's no room for procrastination. Making the bed would take 2 minutes. Actually, it takes like 5, because I film it and then I look at that video. I'm like, wow, it takes me 5 minutes to make a bed. Anyway, fixing a small annoyance, maybe 5 minutes, sometimes longer. I was up till 3 this morning, dealing with something else. I'll do a video of that. So I'm committing to, like, I don't know, less than 10 minutes of effort. And I'm ready to debunk the whole idea that small habits can actually add up, because they're small and meaningless. But what happened over these next couple days completely caught me off guard. The results: a cascade of unexpected change. What I thought would be a pointless exercise turned into one of the more profound weeks of my year. The results weren't just about having a tidy bed or a not squeaky door, the change was much deeper and actually brought me back to the basics, back to my Make Five method, back to making time, making space, making do, making peace, and making money. Okay, so back to the top. Oh, if you want the book, it's linked below. The Productivity Snowball. I did not anticipate the momentum this stupid little thing would generate. Okay, so it all started with the bed. Day one, I made it. And as I stood there looking at it, a strange feeling came over me. It was a small sense of like pride. The room looked more put together, calmer, and I had accomplished a task in the day. It was a very tiny win, but it was a win. And this is where the magic started. Neuroscience shows that when we achieve even a minor goal, our brain releases a little bit of dopamine, which is the reward chemical that drives motivation. That small hit of dopamine from making the bed made me want to do something else. So suddenly, tidying up the clothes I'd left on the chair the night before didn't seem like such a chore. So I did it. And then I saw a glass on my nightstand and I took it to the kitchen. And before I knew it, I started a chain reaction of positive behaviors totally by accident and unintentionally. This is what experts call a keystone habit. It's a small change that kicks off a cascade of other good habits. It created the sense of order and control and reduced the background stress I didn't even realize was so pervasive. And this might be happening to you too if you just have this like low hum of stress all the time. By starting the day with a success, I was programming my brain to look for more success, and it set a tone of accomplishment that carried through the entire day. Benefit 2, title break. Clearing the mental clutter. The second part of the experiment was fixing one small annoyance each day. Basically, the Japanese philosophy of Kaizen, which is about continuous, small, incremental improvements. Instead of trying to fix everything at once, you just make one small, tiny thing better every single day. Look, I can show you the math on this, but suffice it to say it adds up. I really like Paul Akers' book, 2 Second Lean, which is a Toyota Production Strategies simplification book. But basically, it's like how you can fix things in 2 seconds and make categorically measurable, like significant changes in your life. I'll put a link to that down below. So day one, I finally tackled the pile of mail that had been sitting on my counter for weeks. It just took 3 minutes. By day two, I tightened the loose handle on a kitchen cabinet. Day three, I'm unsubscribing 10 spammy email newsletter that were clogging my inbox. Each task is trivial, but they add up, and the sum of these things is anything but trivial. Each of these tiny problems had been occupying a small, dark corner of my mind. They felt like open tabs on a computer, slowly draining the battery, and every time I saw the mail or grabbed a wobbly handle or the whole freaking door pulled off my closet, my brain would register a flicker of irritation, and by closing these mental tabs, ding, 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 one by one, I freed up an incredible amount of cognitive energy, which I needed to do. And the world around me started to feel less broken. And that's important, less annoying. And it gave me a profound sense of agency. I wasn't a passive victim in my slightly irritating environment anymore. I was actually actively making it better. And this process of making small continuous improvements adds up, and it reduces stress and increases the feeling of control in your life. And it lets me make do with what I have. It lets me follow my other goals. I'm making things. I'm making videos. I'm writing books. I now have my all of my intellectual property stuff done to start doing my audiobook. Like, all of this stuff adds up. Okay. Benefit 3, the mindset shift. Benefit 3, the mindset shift. Look, by the end of the first week, and today's day 3 of actually documenting it, I feel like a different person. It's still me, the same job and the same responsibilities, but my entire outlook has flipped. My skepticism is evaporated and replaced by this powerful new understanding of momentum. I've had the negative side of this really bite me in the rear before, but this is the first time I've really like felt the positive changes. So I started seeing myself as someone who does things, someone who is in control, someone who just takes the kids on a fun trip. This identity shift is the secret. When you consistently make your bed, you're not just tidying up, you're becoming the kind of person who lives in an orderly space, who has agency over the things around them, and who can choose and identify what they're going to do instead of just being told what to do and react to everything. When you consistently fix small problems, you're not just doing chores, you're becoming a proactive problem solver. And there's no limit to this. We don't know what the upper limit of this is. So these small wins served as frequent mastery. These small wins served as frequent little mastery experiences, strengthening my belief in my own capabilities. I'm building evidence day by day, and it's effective. It's an effective way. I'm building agency with myself that I could make a change and stick to it. And this transformation in mindset is where this lasting change really begins. Success isn't some far off monumental event. It's the sum of these tiny positive changes that I'm making every single day. I love the phrase, each step towards the mountain. And there's this great big mountain in the distance. Whatever your big goal is, getting in shape, becoming a published author, running multiple ultra marathons, sailing across the world, whatever it is. And each step you're taking towards that mountain brings your progress. And as long as you're able to see that progress, you're getting these rewards for progressing towards it, even if it's tiny. And so I thought, like, I needed to get a dumpster, fill my truck bed up with garbage, and simplify and minimize everything. But I didn't need this massive action. I just needed these cumulative little stacks. And it's amazing the difference this is making. All right, the why it works. Here's the science of small wins. My little experiment isn't a fluke. It's not a fluke. You can do this too. There's powerful psychology behind why these simple changes have such dramatic impact. And it boils down to just 3 key ideas. Okay, look, first I mentioned it's all about the small wins. Research from Harvard has shown that the single most powerful motivator isn't a big bonus or a grand prize, simply making progress in meaningful work, even small progress, as defined by you, not your boss, you. Each tiny victory creates positive feedback loops in your brain, making you more motivated and resilient. Secondly, it's about reducing decision fatigue. Our brains have a finite amount of mental energy for making choices daily. When we make routines like automatically making your bed or automatically filming videos or whatever your goal is, you eliminate one decision from your morning, which saves mental energy that can be used for more important, creative, or complex tasks later. And finally, 3, and this is the one that surprised me how quickly this happened, it leverages the compound effect. The 1% improvement each day doesn't feel like much, but over a year, it results in you being nearly 37 times better. These tiny habits are like financial investments. At first, the returns are barely noticeable, but over time, they compound into something extraordinary. You aren't just making your bed, you're building a system for a more organized and productive life as defined by you. In conclusion, and rolling with the challenge, I started this as a total skeptic, armed with an unmade bed, a list of minor annoyances, some chronic anxiety and depression that I don't know why balloons just happened. That is wild. Was it this? That really distracted me. Look, I started as a skeptic, unmade bed, and a huge list of mild annoyances that stacked up to like be little energy vampires to suck out my life every day. I was convinced that small habits were a waste of time and wouldn't be popular on YouTube, right? You guys want to see this like big garage renovation or clean my shop or I built a thing. It's hard to visualize these little stacks, but man, they make a big difference. And I was convinced that these little things would be a waste of time, and I could not have been more wrong. This 1 week and now week or day 3 of actually documenting, it didn't give me a cleaner house. It gave me a blueprint for change. It taught me that we don't just rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems and our environment. And the most effective systems are built from tiny, consistent, almost effortless actions. Look, the feeling of being stuck or overwhelmed isn't something you have to power through with brute force like I thought it was. You can absolutely chip away at it, one small, satisfying win at a time. It's about building momentum. It's about proving to yourself every single day that you are in control. And so here's my challenge to you. If you're feeling stuck, if you're skeptical, just like I was a week ago, just try this. Try this for 1 week. Don't try to overhaul your whole life. Just pick one ridiculously small thing to do each day. Maybe it's make your bed. Maybe it's put your dishes away before you go to bed. Maybe it's brush your dog or walk down the road. Whatever. You pick something that's meaningful to you, and do it for 1 day. Maybe it's writing down one thing you're grateful for. I don't know, but just do it. Whatever it is, commit to doing it for 7 days. Let me know below what one small thing you're going to do. I promise the results will surprise you. If you comment below, I will set a timer and try and get back to you in 7 days to see how it went. You have the power to flip your own outlook. It starts small, and you can start now.